Art is special only because it can be carried to a higher degree that incorporates not only rational solution consideration, but the spiritual, the aesthetic. It is ideal because it can touch the spiritual, a higher level. As a matter of fact, I cannot distinguish between spiritual experience and aesthetic experience. They're just two terms, this time for the same experience. But one was associated with the church, the other one was. But I tend to stick with the broader terms. It does not make me less religious to say the spiritual experience. That sometimes we just live this way, aesthetic. What the heck is aesthetic? Study of beauty. We get too technical.
How did Arlene Helgeson find you?
She came to McAllister. I was the chair of the art department at the time. Arlene came down there and she saw something in exhibition of welded sculpture, and she bought it for the campus, university campus there. The cathedral was the name of it. I think it's still there because they own it.
Right.
Okay. And then when they got an idea, they wanted the sculpture for the mall. At the time, I wasn't interested because my wife had died. I was mourning, and I really didn't care. My friends could say, "Oh, that's perfect for you, because you like stone, Then not many people do stone." And finally, very reluctantly, I met Arlene. She interviewed me. She in a committee got all excited, So I started right away. We took a ride on the country. I said, "See that rock out there? I want that." They went and got it for me. And that's the one we call the jewel stone, part of the trio. So that one I picked up with driving on the road. Then we went to quarry. I said, "I don't want all these things that are quarried. It's going to be more expensive because I have to remove all that." Let's look around, look at all the things, rocks that were actually shaped by glaciers had been pushed aside. These are beautiful shapes. Then I met a committee of about 30 in the committee, and I said, "Well, you saw I was having an exhibition at the St. Paul Arts Center, and they had seen that exhibition. It was a traveling exhibition. So, well, you know what I can do? There's two ways going about it. If you want me to make a model for it, I can do that. It would be more expensive, more time consuming, and not necessarily better. Why? Because once I make a model, then I'll have to make material to meet these requirements. But if I start with the material, like you got a lot of rocks, and you base the idea on this material available, like building a home, you decide what material is available, then you design it. That will be more direct, more natural, and you already know what to expect from me. You saw my exhibition. They trusted me to make something without a model. So when the quarry, start carving right away, and that's when they start taking pictures. And I didn't want to be distracted then because I was in a very sober mood, having lost my wife, and I had 4 children, and teenagers in early 20s, a very difficult time for me. So everything up there was done directly.
How long did it take you to actually do the trio?
Mostly one summer. But I worked the sunrise and sunset, and then when we moved in the mall, I had them put up lights so I could work during the night as well. I had lots of energy. Besides, I had to prove myself that the death of my wife was not really. I wanted to see what effect it had on me, and I wanted to prove myself what I could do. I wasn't working for anyone. I was working for myself. It was a challenge I was accepting for myself. Any one of those pieces worth more than what they were giving for the whole thing. It didn't matter to me.
Yeah.
It was something I wanted to do, and they were very cooperative. As a matter of fact, the enthusiasm they showed as a community I talk about it quite often. You know, as soon as I get through, instead of chasing me out of town, they honored me with Caponi Day, Tony Caponi Day. And at first, oh no, that's too much. You already honored me enough, you know. The Humphrey over there to unveiling and all that. But then I decide I gotta accept in behalf of other artists because they're honoring art, not just me. It's an example of a civic participation of a community. It was beautiful. Whatever I needed, somebody had it. They made available. The municipal people just provided the heavy equipment, anything I wanted to. Yeah. So it was a good experience. And they were all happy. Actually, the key point about that is when people see something being made, they mentally participate. It becomes theirs. Some become participants. They became very protective because the thing could have been vandalized so many times. You know, they could. But very respectful, very protective of it. Okay, so the whole thing was a good experience. Then, what was it? A year, 2 years later, they had a Tony Caponi week. Mm-hmm. I had a good experience at St. Cloud because they were pretty select people. They responded with enthusiasm to these things that were fairly abstract, actually. Okay, and I never got over it. But I'm referring to the politician in St. Cloud. We're very enthusiastic. Right. The officials.
The officials.
Yeah, right. That's not necessarily the case in most places.